is that we've realized that there has to be something beyond the product when you approach when you approach communications and when you approach marketing of a product like Sattviko. So what we've realized that just saying health and be fit, eat healthy is not going to do the trick. What has to happen is you've got to find that sweet spot wherein both the goodness of yoga as well as the goodness of food come together, and you're able to give that particular food to people, which will actually transform people's lives, rather than just saying that just eat this much, or just track your calories, eat this much food, eat that food. If people get an understanding of what they are actually putting in their bodies, at the same time, if they get that help of what right physical practices to do, what right kind of exercise, what right kind of yoga to do, it has the power to change their lives immensely. So yoga for us, when we are communicating internationally, we've seen that yoga is a very, very common language. Yoga does not suffer from that issue of a lot of cultural differences, because in my interaction with so many yogis around the world, I've seen that most of the yogis are exactly similar in nature.
Okay.
Whether you are talking to somebody who's in Australia, whether you're talking to somebody who's in America, who's in Canada, anywhere in the world.
Hi Sumeet, good morning. How are you?
Hi Dhawal, good morning. It's a pleasure to be on your show. I hope you're doing well.
I am doing pretty well. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining in. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dhawal. Thanks a lot for having me.
Hi viewers, good morning. Welcome to the new episode of Sustainable Future Foods Talk. Today we have with us Sumeet Chilwal from India. Sumeet is an engineer turned entrepreneur and a fitness coach who is very passionate about marketing and brand building. Sumeet currently leads marketing and communities at Sattviko and has been instrumental in organizing one of the biggest global Surya Namaskar marathons. The last marathon saw a participation of yogis from more than 19 countries. Sumeet has had his own personal fitness story where he changed his life with yoga. He is also recognized as world's 40 under 40 fitness influencers and leader by the Business World magazine. So Sumeet, great to have you here. If you can, throw some light on how has yoga helped you in your profession and your personal life?
Dhawal, I think the contribution of yoga has been immense in my journey, because as we say in yoga that it is not just a form of exercise, but it starts from your mind, and basically all we say something called the 6 pillars of yogic wellness, wherein it starts from your body, from your internal body, and goes on to your external self, to your mind, and then to spirituality. So I think yoga has for me helped me in improving in all those aspects. There was a time, I think at least 3-4 years back, wherein I was very, very unfit. I was traveling a lot. The lifestyle was such that I did not usually put any thought into my fitness, into what I'm eating, whether I'm exercising or not. And slowly and steadily I realized that it came to a point wherein I saw that my weight had gone to about 100 kgs, and it was a very, very shocking incident for me, wherein even basic activities of my life would be an issue for me to do. Climbing stairs, walking, running, and that is when I realized that there's something that I have to do about it, and this has to be changed. And this happened about in 2020, wherein we started I started doing yoga, and started thinking about what I'm eating, started reading about a lot of yogic nutrition, and how nutrition is as important as your yoga, and yoga is as important as your nutrition. And gradually over the next part of the year, by the year end of 2020, I had lost about 30 kgs, and I came to one of the best periods of my life in terms of fitness. And when you're unhealthy, you don't realize it then, but when you start your fitness journey, you realize that a lot of those impacts come into your way of thinking, your energy levels, your concentration. A lot of those aspects are also impacted when you are unhealthy. And so I think yoga has helped me improve my concentration. It has helped me stabilize my thoughts. It has helped me immensely in terms of my physical capabilities. And best. I mean, everything that I am today. All the happiness that I have is from yoga.
Interesting. And losing 30 kgs but practicing yoga is such an interesting thing. And congratulations for this. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yes, a friend of mine said that you actually 30 kgs is the weight of a 10 or 11-year-old.
Yeah.
A friend of mine said that you've actually had one small kid out of you in this journey.
Interesting. Okay. So coming down to my next question, Sumeet. So you have been with Sattviko for 5 years now and heading marketing. So what is your approach as an international marketeer to grow Sattviko's reach and impact?
One thing for us, Dhawal, is that we've realized that there has to be something beyond the product when you approach when you approach communications and when you approach marketing of a product like Sattviko. So what we've realized that just saying health and be fit, eat healthy is not going to do the trick. What has to happen is you've got to find that sweet spot wherein both the goodness of yoga as well as the goodness of food come together, and you're able to give that particular food to people, which will actually transform people's lives, rather than just saying that just eat this much, or just track your calories, eat this much food, eat that food. If people get an understanding of what they are actually putting in their bodies, at the same time, if they get that help of what right physical practices to do, what right kind of exercise, what right kind of yoga to do, it has the power to change their lives immensely. So yoga for us, when we are communicating internationally, we've seen that yoga is a very, very common language. Yoga does not suffer from that issue of a lot of cultural differences, because in my interaction with so many yogis around the world, I've seen that most of the yogis are exactly similar in nature.
Okay.
Whether you are talking to somebody who's in Australia, whether you're talking to somebody who's in America, who's in Canada, anywhere in the world. So and all of the yogis have so much knowledge that they can give, and there are so many people who actually need this knowledge. So we've realized that so communities, for example, are very, very core to our marketing approach.
Sure.
Wherein we are making these huge communities with people who have that knowledge, who have that passion for yoga, who have that passion for Ayurveda, who have that knowledge where they can help people. And we are getting people who are enthusiastic about changing their lives. We're getting them all together on a single platform. So we're not trying to do too many things in marketing. The single agenda is do less things, but do those things effectively. And by less things, I mean we are right now focusing all on communities. So if your listeners are there, I really, really urge people to go on to the marathon page. We have these beautiful marathons which we are doing every 3 months. The last marathon saw more than 4,000 people over a Zoom event over 2 days from more than 19 countries participate and do this sequence of Surya Namaskars. We've achieved more than 500,000 Surya Namaskars till now.
Wow,
I think
that's huge.
I think the number is even more now. This data is a little, I think a month older. I think we should be touching about 600,000. And what we are doing is that yoga with Surya Namaskar can also be applied to the betterment of people in terms of the lifestyle issues also. If people are suffering from lifestyle issues, they can actually take up that specific program. So we've launched these programs, beautiful programs, wherein you get, again, the community helps you out in improving your lifestyle. You get a yoga teacher, an Ayurvedic coach, a spiritual guide who help you improve your life. So yeah, in a nutshell, I think we are doing the marathons, we are building communities around it, and one more thing that we've done is that all of our packs have these QR codes. So that has worked a lot also. So people are actually scanning those. They're sort of like an IoT enabled package product.
Sure.
And people get beautiful goodies. They get free foundation programs of yoga. So yeah, I mean that is what our approach is. We it doesn't change country specific because yogis and yoga enthusiasts are basically same. So we are building communities and helping people out.
Awesome. So what I could read from this is, of course, I mean, being an international brand marketeer, as you rightly mentioned, that you are focusing on those limited things. So I'm sure this will be super useful for the brand marketeers out there who are now building their brands global, because this is such an important factor, right? Because if you, let's say, hit your hands or try doing a lot of things, then you are not able to focus on those important aspects, which I think the point which you have made, I think this is really helpful for the entrepreneurs there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. People, when you're growing a brand and when you have a approach to so many people, it always sort of gets to you that you try to do this and I'll try to do that, and there are so many things that you want to do. But it is really, really important to figure out what exactly is working and then doubling down on that rather than doing too many things and not being able to do everything.
Right. So coming down to my last question for this session. So of course, I mean, since you are building it all primarily in the North America, so if you can throw some light on the new consumer trends in the North American mainstream market.
So Dhawal, one thing so I turned vegan. I think about 3 years back.
Okay.
And one thing that I've seen is that there's a very healthy discussion around the world around sustainability, around your talks are called are based on sustainable future foods. So this is what I've seen is that there's a lot of talk about sustainability. There's a lot of talk about veganism, vegetarianism, about being more conscious, more responsible about your food. And I think these are very, very positive things, which we are going towards. And in my, to answer your question, in my interactions with the North American market, I've seen that these specific pointers are really, really predominant in the North American aspect.
Sure.
You look at the market trends there. You look at how many vegan products are going on. There's an entire, I should say, it's a movement of plant-based meat and plant-based meat products, which is a really, really good thing. At the same time, what also gives me confidence about the North American market is not just the food sustainability of food on the rise, but you also see a lot of people adopting yoga as a holistic practice and not just including it as a once in a while routine. You'll see a lot of people, I mean, if you look at West Coast, there, look at East Coast, there are so many places where there are so many yoga studios, so many yoga teachers that I see so many people actually going out and doing yoga in the US. So I think we are at a sweet spot in that aspect, wherein we are at the beautiful sweet spot of both yoga as well as vegan, natural yogic foods. And I think we are very, very gung ho about the North American market because of its response till now. I mean, you should see some of the love that we get from North America. People are actually participating in the marathons. They're doing Surya Namaskar. There are so many first-time yogis whom we've met who were always afraid of going into yoga because they thought it was a very, very big practice and they wouldn't, really last into it. But I see a lot of willingness of people to try yoga and vegan food. So I think those are very, very strong plus points.
That really sounds exciting, and this is, I mean, the kind of responses which you gave coming from you is really inspirational, and wish you all the best in your journey. And thank you so much once again for joining in.
Thank you, Dhawal. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.